Hi everybody and welcome back to Proximity.fun. My name is Tristan and today we have our Proximity News Roundup. Really exciting stuff today. Before we get started, just to remind everybody that you can find the report here on our website, Proximity.fun, and I'll leave a link to this in the description. There's a link to sign up for the newsletter, and if you're on the newsletter, then you'll be receiving this entire thing as well. Here's the page for that so you guys know what you're looking for. So if you want to keep up to date on all the new stuff happening in the proximity marketing world, then come and check that out. And one last little thing before we get into the news, we started up our Proximity Marketing Mastermind here on Facebook. So if you guys want to come and check this out, then you're more than welcome. And it's a place for us to ask questions, share information, case studies, and we're trying to keep it very serious, very focused. So like no selling, none of that other stuff. It's just a place to share case studies really. So if you guys want to check that out, you'll find a link to that over here. It's all the way down here, right there. So now that you guys had that, let's go ahead and hop into the news. There's actually some really cool stuff happening this week. So I think my favorite one is from this right here. This is Dr. Horace Chang, and he is from Jamaica. He is the Minister of National Security for the country. What they're doing is they're building out a free Wi-Fi system for the entire country, and the idea behind it, what their goal is, partially is, since he is the Minister of Security, is to help with policing and things like that. But their main goals for it is first to make internet access available for free to students so that way they can become smarter, use the smartphone to become more smart. The other things that they want to do with it is to help craftsmen and small business owners to sell their products internationally and help to bring more revenue into the country. And at the same time, they also wanted to make it easier for musicians to sell their content, again, worldwide. And so by creating this infrastructure, allowing people to reach out and to sell their products, then it makes it significantly easier for them to generate revenue for the country. Now, aside from this just being cool news about smart city development, this is also a really interesting opportunity for us as proximity marketers, because the idea is that people would be able to have this free internet access through their phones. And in order to get out their phones, then they need to open up their phones and everything else. And that's a way for us to reach out with our beacons and with NFC and with similar technology. Now, one of the things that a lot of folks don't know is that outside of the US, then the Android phone is by far the most used system. Like, there are very, very few people who actually use iOS outside of, predominantly North America. And that means that your reach with your beacons is going to be significantly higher, and it means that you're going to be able to do a lot more things with those beacons and to generate more traffic and more revenue for yourself and for your clients. And that also ties into NFC, that ties into tourism. There's all kinds of other applications for this that are very interesting and very important for us as proximity marketers. And so definitely keep an eye on this. And if we can set up like a GoFundMe or something to send me out to Jamaica so I can interview these guys and do some videos, then let's do that. Next up, we have a new patent from Microsoft for an NFC ring. Now, these ones are a little bit more advanced than what we normally see with the NFC rings on like Amazon or AliExpress or places like that, where you use the ring to like open your phone or do certain apps. You could also use it for like making payments, but one of the things that this is specifically designed to do is to interface more effectively with cell phones and with computers. So in like all those sci-fi shows where they're like touching these invisible screens and like switching their hands back and forth and changing stuff on the screens, well, that's actually what this does. So it has a sensor that's built around this particular interface, and the ring's position is then detected within that sensor, and then that is how you manipulate or interface with the device or with the screen. And what they're specifically trying to do with this, what they really want to do is they want to use it for cell phones. And so again, if you have the NFC on there, the phone can detect that up to a couple of inches, and then you can actually use that to work your phone. So again, it's pretty neat just seeing how the technology continues to grow and to progress. And I've actually been wanting to get an NFC ring for a little while just so I can kind of play around with it and mess around with it and see what it can do. So I'll be ordering that probably sometime this next week, and hopefully I'll have it for the next video, which should be kind of neat. So we'll talk about that then. And our last story for today comes from South Africa. There's a biometric security company in South Africa. And for those of you who aren't familiar, that's like your fingerprints, that's like iris scanning, facial recognition, things like that for security use. These guys are going to start using Bluetooth beacons as part of their tracking for their security implementations, their security deployments. So for example, you could walk into some sort of secured building, you log in with your fingerprint or whatever, and then the system would actually be able to track the user as they're moving around through that secured environment. So this would be something you'd see for like hospitals, for like government buildings and things like that. But that was kind of an interesting just to see another use for Bluetooth beacons that we don't normally see. A lot of times we're talking about marketing and for business and things like that. But it's good to remember that there are a lot of applications for Bluetooth beacons, and there's a lot of things that we can do with them. The technology is significantly more capable than what we do with it. I mean, it's one thing to just send out a URL to a whole bunch of people nearby, but it's something completely different to be able to do things like this. And I just thought it was kind of neat, and I wanted to share it with you guys. But again, I have 38 pages of news about Bluetooth beacons and NFC and smart cities and the Internet of Things and all this kind of fun stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure to head over to the website and sign up for the newsletter and like and subscribe to the video. Our next video is on a little case study that we've been messing around with. We're using Google Sites together with a Bluetooth beacon in order to try and see how that would affect our reach. And it's actually been really interesting. Like, we've actually managed to double the number of impressions that we received from our Bluetooth beacons just by switching the landing page, by switching over to something that's Google owned. And so it's been really, really interesting. So we're going to put together some tutorials on that. And again, like a case study, kind of showing you the results from what we've been working on. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. That way you guys get those little alerts whenever we upload a video. And I think that'll do it for me. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!